Agents are becoming ubiquitous across every team and every AI platform. At Zava, agents are built everywhere in Foundry, Copilot Studio, and partner ecosystems. That velocity is exciting, but when agents live across platforms, a lack of visibility quickly turns into operational, security, and governance risk. This demo shows you how Agent 365 gives organizations the observability, governance, and security required across teams to operate agents at a scale. Hello, I am Seolito Rodriguez, a Senior Data Security Solutions Engineer at Microsoft. So, this is where Agent 365 comes in. Agent 365 is our enterprise control plane for managing agents securely. In this page, I can see everything I need uh, that I need to see basically with Agent 365 directly in the Microsoft 365 Admin Center, which is where I spend most of my time already, as it's where I already manage users. Or, in other words, this is where an admin would spend most of the time if its job is to manage users and manage and control AI. So obviously, this is awesome because as an admin, I don't need to learn any new tools or switch between multiple portals. So let's start with um, the Agent 365 overview dashboard, which we can, go through here, or we can just click on Manage Agents. I see key information like exactly how many agents I have and how many users are interacting with agents. I also see a breakdown of where agents are coming from, how many were published by IT, and how many created and shared by users. This includes agent with Copilot Studio and Foundry, and also agents built by ecosystem partners like Manus, N8N, GenSpark, and many other. I can also see key metrics, everything I need to know about security posture, adoption patterns, operational health, and business impact. It's all here in this page. So now that I have an idea of my overall metrics, let's take a look at individual agents in the registry. So if I click on all agents, and we're going to be looking at this agent in a second, but I need to be able to manage and protect all agents, regardless of where they are coming from. The registry gives me a full view of all agents in the organization, in Java in this case, which is critical. It automatically consolidates all agents built on Microsoft AI platforms like Copilot Studio and with ecosystem partners that uh, integrates Agent 365 SDK, making it possible to register any agent into the registry. So now let's take a look at a specific example of an agent and what I pay attention to when I'm checking a new agent. So we're going to click on this Java Fabric Supplier. So here is the Fabric Supplier agent. We built this internally and it's already live in production. When I drill into the details, the first thing that I can see is more details on the agent overview, like a description of the agent, its availability, and uh, and I can also see it's that it's built on Microsoft Foundry. I can also see the channels where users can find this agent. This agent can be found in Microsoft 365 Copilot and Teams. I can see the owner, whether there are any risks with this agent, the last time that it was updated, the version, and all the um, you know critical information. If I select users, I can choose who can create instances of this agent, for example, and so I can select the the users as well here. If I click on data and tools, I can see what powers this agent, including the connectors, knowledge sources, and tools that it relies on to do its job. So this view represents the agent's capabilities and context, what data it can access, and how is equipped to reason and act. These data sources and tools are configured by builders in the agent building platforms like Copilot Studio or Foundry and surfaced here to give IT centralized visibility and governance without changing how agents are built. If I click on security and compliance, I can see what enable what enable policies are already in place from Microsoft Entra, Purview, and Defender. So if I need to investigate if there was any risk associated with this, and if I want to see more, then Agent 365 have been extended to other solutions, as we just mentioned, and then I could go into those solutions to look Agent 365 from that perspective. So if the agent is, let's say, accessing sensitive information, then I could look into Microsoft Purview to have observability and look at the activities that agent is performing. If I click on permissions are different. This shows what the agent is actually allowed to access and act on at runtime. So access and act at runtime. Even if an agent knows about data, permissions determine whether the agent can touch it and what it can do with it. So this is really important. So here we see the permissions that the agent has. Um, so in this case, we see here that it can chat, read basic, um, you know, information to, it can read all information to this. So basically, it has access to read all that information because this is a delegated permission access. What that basically means is that whatever permission the user has, the agent will have on behalf of that user. Now that we've looked across our agent registry, I can further narrow my list to agents that have risks um, because Defender, Entra, and Purview continuously monitor them for external and internal risks. So if we click on agent at risk, the agent at risk can be attributed both to internal risks like oversharing or over privileges, or can also be external risk like prompt injections. As an IT admin, I can get visibility into those risks and I can either block it myself or flag it to security teams to investigate. For example, um, in this agent, I see it is marked with two risk alerts. Let's take a look at that. So I'm going to click on this change management agent. Here we see that the risk is coming from Entra signals. This agent has two risks. Is a one a spike in login attempts, and two a user that was deemed risky based on their login patterns. So Entra is continuously monitoring agent activity to look for patterns that could represent a threat. Entra conditional access can also block agents that are used by risky users and risky agents from accessing resources. So, risky users are showing signals of identity compliance, rather compromise, while risky agents are agents showing signs that they have been compromised. So, if that is the case, we can, with a single click, click on block and then block this agent. So again, as an IT admin, I can block this agent right away and then prevent any harm. And I am assured that my security team can investigate this further. So, and that's what we are doing here. It is important to call attention um, to risky agents, but another way to govern agent is by managing their life cycle. To keep agent sprawl in check, I need every agent tied to an accountable owner. And when an agent builder leaves the organization, the agent can be left ownerless. So, and that's what, if we click here in the ownerless agent tab, this has happened with the Java procurement agent. So if we click on that, I can quickly assign a new owner here and search for the owner, click on assign. I can also automate owner reassignment by setting up a rule. So in the navigation pane, if I click on settings and I click here on rules, I can add a rule and gotta give it a name as well as configuring the conditions that are identified. And the condition that we want to do here is to assign ownership to manager. So the manager is going to be the owner now. Good. So I can see which agents will be affected by the rule when it is turned on, which aligns to the agents that we saw in the owner list tab. Then we turn on the rule. And just like that, that agent is not ownerless anymore. If we go back to the all agents on the all agents link here, so beyond the agent life cycle, I also need to understand how these agents fit into our broader ecosystem. And that's where the map comes in. In this map view, I can zoom into the agents to view the connection map, which shows me how each agent interacts with other agents. I can zoom into these agents. The connection map shows me how each agent interacts with other agents. And then when I need to, I can drill into these dependencies and figure out if there is a performance issue or a security gap that I need to address. So let's click in this communications agent. Okay. In activity, I can get details on the agent's performance, like how much usage the agent is getting, total exceptions, hours assisted, etc. With this observability, I can spot issues early and flag them back to the development team. And just like that, we've seen how IT admins get the observability that they need across the agents in their organizations, teams, uh, collaborate with confidence, and agents can be adopted and scaled without losing control. And that's all for now. This is a brief overview of uh, how Agent 365 can be used to observe agents and prevent a sprawl. We can again go deep down into this agents, looking at it from the intra purview or defender's perspective. But um, as an overall control plane, Agent 365 is the place when we come to manage these agents. Thank you. I hope that this video has been informative.